and they will hook you up. Call the best advice that I can give you for
call
the Derby,
Carol and get down there,
or Miss Pat.
Miss Pat, yes.
Call right now. Call Miss Pat, and she's going to find you a place. I mean, she's going to find you a place. They will get you all set up and get you in there. And the whole thing is about the Derby still, to me, is to where, as big as it is, you get down there and just all the pageantry, everything that's going on. It's still, I mean, you still got to get yourself down there.
It still feels like a home race when you're there because you know everybody that's there.
And it's cheap to get in there. I mean, it's cheap.
$50 for right at $50 for the whole week.
Yeah, I mean, you can get in there for next to nothing, and you're going to have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You're going to have a dirt track show on pavement. But I say that, but they've been doing this for I don't know how many years.
50. Is this 55 or 56?
A lot. I mean, and I do want to work. I do want to work to get Tim on this show, and we'll have a great conversation with him, hopefully right before the Derby, just to kind of preview everything that's going on. And I think now that you've got the super late model wars, with SRL and ASA and ASA changing rules and all that, and I think it's about to get really real with this divide, because with the rule changes and so forth, I'm
good rule changes or bad rule changes.
I'm not the biggest fan of some of the ASA rule changes. I know why they're doing them. I mean, I totally get that part. I mean, it makes it beneficial to me for somebody that sells GM engines to where I'm hoping that that's something that's going to work out. But I mean, I don't know. That's where we watch everything with racing, to where you get the divide and you get the separation and all that. And I just wish that we could figure out a way to make all this, everybody could play nice and figure out a way to work.
You'd think so, but the personalities involved are not known for I don't know, level-headedness is maybe not the right word, but that's the first term that comes to mind. Very strong in beliefs, in their home beliefs, so to speak, and they don't open up to other ideas very well.
3 letters, EGO. Ego.
There you go. That works too. Big egos on that. And they have reasons to have egos because they are all successful.
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things we can call them out and we can point out all the differences, but these are folks that have done this for a long time, and they've done an exceptional job at this. And I just really wish that, I don't know. I mean, I think that, racing head to head and doing all these different things. And this is the same thing that we've talked about with dirt. And I saw something, this morning that I was really, I don't know exactly what all went down at 37 this past weekend with the double white flags and all that. But, I saw a racer that was, talking about whatever may have happened right there. And look, Los Solis on the track officials and all that is great. And, it's kind of one of those things to where it's like, if a track fucks up, if they do something wrong, it's okay. It's okay. Just calm.
It happens. And so you have to, did you see the post? Was it Halford that posted that deal today about the track owner that was like, it was so much better 20 years ago before social media ruined everything about short track racing?
I didn't see that, but
it basically to the effect of it's an instantaneously, while it is beneficial to some aspects of passing words on and getting news out and stuff like that, it turns into an instantaneously pipeline of bitching about everything, because if the line is too long and the food is too cold, they get back in their seat, and from that seat they bitch and moan about it while they're at the racetrack in there.
Yeah.
And it starts with food, then it goes, they took too long to clean up, they had too many restarts. It's really, I'll have to find it and send it to you. It made a lot of sense on a lot of the stuff that we talk about on here.
Well, and that's really the point. I mean, because that, every now and then you do see a positive post about, the officials did a great job and, whatever the case is. But it's all too often what you're talking about right there, towards straight to the negative. It's like you go and you find one thing that was wrong. And it's going to be, especially when you get to an event, to these big events. I mean, you're stuff is going to happen. And when you get to like the DT,
watch the jalapenos. Remember, KR got his ass chewed online because somebody had too many jalapenos in his nachos.
And when you get to like the DTK this past weekend, they had the odds stacked against them. The weather was not their friend.
I'm surprised they actually raced. I really am with that weather forecast. They got lucky with the rain that didn't hit, but they did an exceptional job with the racetrack for the rain that did hit.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of folks beating up Heart of Texas this past weekend, with, oh, well, shit, they let us on, whatever. Look, if it would have been real easy for Selby and those folks to have been on Wednesday, look, we're not even going to try this. And I get it. I mean, I see it from both sides, to where folks are towing all the way to Waco to be a part of this. And I get that. And yeah, it sucks to get there. I have driven to Waco 2 or 3 different times to where it's like I'm looking at the radar and it's horrible, and I get there and it's like we're canceled. But I get it. I mean, they're still sitting there trying to get the race in because those folks are going to show up and they're going to want to get out there and race it. And I totally understand. I mean, you can't recoup fuel spendage or whatever you want to call it. You can't get that back. But the whole thing is you have these people that are working their asses off, and that was kind of the post right there with the I-37 thing. And I still saw people beating this dude up. And pardon me, I don't remember exactly who it was that posted it, but he mentioned that he called himself a field filler. And look, man, I hate that term. Ain't no such thing as a field filler. If you're on the racetrack, you're a fucking racer. That's what you are. Don't ever call yourself a field filler. Don't ever call yourself a back runner. Don't ever do any of that. If you're busting your ass to get on the racetrack, you are a car racer. And when you get in a situation like that, it's like people are still going to beat up the racetrack. And what I liked that this gentleman said was that people start questioning the integrity of the racetrack, and that's the worst part to me is when people start questioning or when people. It's not so much, Bobby, about people questioning the integrity. It's just that they say shit that questions the integrity.
Yeah,
and that's just not cool, man. That's not cool for people that are, for all intents and purposes, voluntarily doing this shit.
Yeah,
right.
Find out at the racetrack. Most of these people volunteer their time. If they are compensated, they are not compensated very well.
Confiscated.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm multitasking. I'm trying to find this article for you. But I don't think it was Halford that posted it. I'll have to find it again.
Yeah, and it's a whole thing where you can get into conversations where little things that may be said, they can be interpreted totally the wrong way, and that seems to be something, that it goes without saying happens, time after time, and I wish that wasn't the case, but it really is, and just when people start talking about that, it's something that you can't go back and change that. That's the unfortunate thing about so many of these conversations. Speaking of that, I mean there was something yesterday. There was something yesterday in the post race with Ryan Blaney, who has punched his ticket into the Final Four of the NASCAR Cup Championship. And you had some folks talking to him after the race, and one of these reporters goes off and starts talking about being lucky. And I'm like, okay, hold on just 1 minute. And I like what Ryan Blaney did when that question came up. Take a listen to this.
Ryan, over the past 3 weeks, you kind of found Jimmy Johnson's lucky horseshoe, so to speak. But aside from your luck, your performance has been strong. What has been the turning point for your team?
What's been lucky about it? I don't think anything's been lucky about it. The last 3 weeks we've been running amazing. We've run up towards the front in Vegas, led laps at Homestead, had a good shot to win, and we won today. I don't think there's any luck that it goes into this. Yeah, there may be lucky moments, but I don't think a horseshoe is really true at all. We've worked really hard to get to the point that we need to with speed, and our group's executed very good races, and they deserve to be here. So, I mean, yeah, luck, you can interpret luck how you want, but the performance side, you still have to bring fast race cars. Race cars capable enough to win, and we've done that. So I think that is the biggest thing about our success is everyone's done a good job of figuring out how to get better and where to be better, and then applying it and having fast cars. So, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Shut your ass. That's pretty much what he's telling.
Do we know
dude
who
right
asked
there.
that question? Is it somebody that we
No.
know, or is it some of them? It couldn't be a normal guy.
Well, I'm sure it's one of those folks that's always in the cluster right there.
See, the thing is, though, the wonderful thing, a lot of people don't like the playoff format, and we're not here to have people bitch and moan about the playoff format and all of that stuff. The one thing that it does, though, is it does multiple things. One is it's going to keep Jimmy Johnson from winning 5 championships in a row ever again from happening, because I don't see in this format it's too damn hard to go back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, what it does is it mimics professional sports, because Ryan Blaney and them were damn near eliminated in that first round of 16. They were just barely hanging on. Now, all of a sudden, they're getting hot at the right time. They have the most momentum of any team going into Phoenix because they've run so well in this last round, and then they have the win at Phoenix to kind of keep up the pace. So that bodes well. It's going to come down to a barn burner like always, but man, they've shown pace, and they have picked up and turned up the wick at the right time.
Yeah, I think he's going to win the title. I mean, he does seem to me like the one that's rolling in here, you know, with the most momentum. And I hope he does.
Him and Larson is going to be sneaky in Phoenix, just because the guy that's won Vegas for the last 3